Hello, Ramiro in San Antonio, Texas. Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and today we're going to do a fun video because what could be hiding inside this tiny little box? There's only two frames that it could be a Clubmaster, but no, it is the folding Wayfarer, which is the RayBan 4105 in color 601, which is the shiny black in the 50i size. Let me take everything out of the packaging as it comes to me. Of course, your black leather Italian RayBan case, your RayBan frame, and of course your RayBan cleaning cloth, complete with junk mail because you just don't get enough in your regular mailbox, so now they've started putting it in your eyeglass cases. But this is the shiny black. As it folds up, I have removed the heavy original glass lenses, and I'll be cutting unbreakable bulletproof lenses for that you can actually see out of. But as I open this up, I always like to use sound effects from the old martial arts movies. And I encourage you to do the same thing when you use it. Of course, Ramiro is pre-med there in San Antonio, and I think he's a little more grown up than I am. So at least I would hope that he is. Although I wish there was a doctor who could remove my silliness. But this is the shiny black. I will be getting this in my next frame. This is the blue with a very dark charcoal matte temple. Of course, it comes in a few other colors. If there's any other colors out there you want that are still available. I believe at one time there was a red, a yellow, and a green frame. But today we're going to be working on the shiny black. So I'm going to take the frame, put it into the tracing element of my edger, and we're going to trace what we have got here. Just programming the computer. Now everybody wants to know what shape lens to cut. Hang on, I hit the wrong button. There we go. This little stylus is going to pop up and it's going to go around and trace the shape of the right lens before doing the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic RayBan frame and you will receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether they are prescription or not. Ramiro needs a little bit of magnification when he's doing all that studying, getting ready for med school. So I'm going to put in some lenses that will help alleviate any eye fatigue that he is getting. So I do want to adjust one thing here. I'm going to raise up the optical centers as well. Now this is the shape of the lens I'll be cutting. Let me grab one of them. I will minify it down to its normal size, and that green outline is the shape I will be cutting today. I will go ahead and magnify it while I'm working on it. So these are your lenses. I'm going to come down here to my Marco 101 lensometer, take the first lens out of the sleeve, put the power drum, let me zero it out. Okay, put the power drum on plus 50, put the lens in, find the optical center of the lens. Then I'm going to put a dot on the center of the lens, which is very light, and I will, let's see, hang on here. Let me put some more ink in here. And we put some more ink in here. We'll get this thing going. Should have checked all this before I went live, but that's a problem with live videos. So again, find the optical center. I do not have to rotate the lens because this is a spherical lens. Now we have it. And I'm going to do the same thing now for the other lens, the left lens. Put that in. Find the optical center, put a dot on that lens as well, and I'm going to mark this one right, and I'm going to mark this one left. And if you missed any of that, let me recap. Oh, that's a bad joke, but you'll be telling it tomorrow. I know you will. I know you will. Okay, so I'm going to come back down here. I'm going to take the right lens and place it onto the platform. Now this is a block, or as I like to call them, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting. So I need to use a double-sided adhesive sticker to do that, of which I've got two up here. I'm going to pull these off. The black side is the sticky side. So I'm going to stick that onto the first block. Stick that one onto the second block. Now if you notice on the back there's a little silver button. That is a magnet. That's going to do its job twice today. The first time it's going to hold it in place to something magnetical there in the arm. So I'm going to pull the paper away to make, again, the black side sticky. Place that into the arm, and let's see, here's my stylus. I'm going to line up those optical centers, that dot right there, hit the button, the arm's going to come down and place the block onto the right lens. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the left. First I have to peel the paperweight to make the black side sticky again. Line up that magnet there in the arm. Put the optical center right there where it needs to be. Hit the button, down comes the block onto the arm. Or the arm down and putting the block on the lens, should I say. Now this is the edger. This is what costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy their own. Then you won't need this guy anymore to cut lenses for you. But the actual cutting wheel is over here on the far right for now. It's going to move to the center when it's working. But it's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material. This wheel in the center, that channel, that little valley, that's what's going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens, so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. So I'm going to go ahead and let the magnet do its job a second time right now. It's going to hold it in place into the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know this machine well enough to call it chuck. I'm going to wake up the computer to tell it so it knows what shape lens to cut. That is it. These are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, high index plastic or Trivex, I would select that. But we're going to stay on polycarbonate. I do not want to polish the edge of your lens. I'm not going to put a bevel on the front surface, the convex surface of the lens. I'm only going to put one on the rear concave surface of the lens. I'm going to hit the green arrow, which is start in every language. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. You can see as it's going around tracing the shape. Then of course the old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once. It's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of thickness showing. Of course, Ramiro, with your lenses you're not going to have any edge thickness, but because I do cut very strong prescription lenses all day long, and again, free, any prescription is free with the purchase of a frame, no matter how strong. But that does become more critical later on, placing the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness. Here it's a piece of cake. Now if you see light flickering in the background, that is water running to catch the optical sawdust. As you can see it now as it begins to come off of your lens. The polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic and high index plastic and Trivex cut wet. Water will kick in for the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle just to wash away any optical debris, but polycarbonate cuts dry. As I mentioned, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It is virtually unbreakable. Your lenses are bulletproof up to 22 caliber and have both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive, so you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes. Unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that you need to reapply every couple hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun there in San Antonio, Texas, this is permanent and will never need to be reapplied. So water has begun washing away the debris. Now, you did get the anti-glare coating. Let me show you a lens without the anti-glare coating. Anti-glare is 3 features in one. It eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain. But street lights, stop lights, computer screens, which is what you're getting it for today, as well as overhead and fluorescent lights. Now, the second feature, it's a reflection-free lens, so when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses. It'll make for much better eye contact. Plus, if you take a selfie or if someone else takes a picture with a flash, you won't see the flash lit up in the lens. Again, you'll see just your eyes. So I'm going to take this out, put that back. I'm going to open up the chuck and grab a paper towel to dry this off. Now, let's see if this will fit first time around. I'm a little bit skeptical. Usually on the Wayfarer frame with its deep bevel, I have to take it down a little bit more, but let's see. I actually want to use my thumbnail and make sure all that optical debris is off the lens. The final inspection. So I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, and using my thumbs I press down the nose and it's not going to go, so I'm going to take it down about 2/10 of a millimeter. Where's my stylus? Here it is. So going in 1/20th of a millimeter, I'm going to go 0.5, 0.10, 0.15, 0.20, which is 1/5 of a millimeter. I'm going to hit the retouch button. Now, a millimeter, to all my American friends who have no clue, a millimeter is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take 1/5 of that distance off, going all the way around until it fits in easily. I don't want to force the lens into the frame. It would cause the frame to stretch or to roll, as we in the business say. If you imagine your frame is like a gutter, if the lens were in there too tight, it would force the bottom of the frame to roll outwards and give you a terrible cosmetic look, as well as shorten the lifespan of the frame. So I don't want to do that. I am a perfectionist. I cut every pair of lenses that get shipped worldwide, so you want a perfectionist like me working on your lenses. Now the other nice thing about your lenses, apart from being polycarbonate and having the anti-glare, is that they are aspheric. Aspherically simply means not spherical. A spherical lens is round in every direction and gives you an ugly cosmetic fishbowl appearance. Aspheric is much flatter to fit in today's flatter curvature frames to give you the best cosmetic appearance possible, not only giving you a wider field of view, but making you look better when people look at you. They don't see those big, thick, magnified fishbowl lenses. So I will take the lens out now. Let me open up the chuck. Thank you, Charles. Chucky baby. And make sure everything is cleaned up. Again, I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner first, and then using my thumbs I press down at the nose, and it still does not want to go in, which is typical of a Wayfarer. I'm going to take it down another 0.2 of a millimeter until it pops in there easily. I'm going to hit the retouch button again. Now the lens does not go onto the cutting wheel, it just goes onto the bevel wheel. The old golden rule, you can always cut more off of a lens, you can never add it back on. So I start large and I keep working my way down. So when you buy glasses from people online, they charge you for a prescription, which is no bueno. When you want to upgrade to the thinner, lighter weight, unbreakable polycarbonate lenses that have both UVA and UVB protection built into them already, they charge you an upgrade fee for that, which is double no bueno. And then if you want the aspheric lenses with the flatter curvature and the wider field of view, that's someone else's top tier premium lens they charge you a fortune for. You get that for free simply by buying the frame from me. That's how I make premium the new standard. So that little spinning wheel you see there, that's what's applying the safety bevel to the rear surface of the lens. Now again, you're not going to have any edge thickness, but for people who do have stronger prescriptions, should any of that lens protrude from the back surface of the frame and come in contact with the cheek, that will be nice and smooth and you would not have any rough edges, as smooth as the frame is. So again, I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner once I get all that optical sawdust off of there. Get off of there, get off of there. Tuck it in at the outside corner, then using the thumbs, press down at the nose, it snaps in easily. Now let's do the same thing for the left lens. Put that in there, flip that over to L, hit start. Just like before, the door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be traced by the two white styluses again, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. But you can see as it's going around tracing the shape of the lens. And as always, measuring the thickness of the lens to know exactly where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. And as I promised, you have no edge thickness showing whatsoever in this frame. Partly is because of your prescription, partly because I'm using the thinner, lighter weight, unbreakable lenses, and they're also aspheric, so you never have to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the block off. That is no longer needed. I'm going to come down here to my Marco 101 lensometer, my very dusty and trustworthy one. I'm going to put that in over the optical center, and when I read the power of the lens, I'm reading plus 50, which is exactly halfway between 0 and 1, which is where you would expect to find 0.50. Now you are farsighted. You need 2 steps of magnification to help you see up close on the computer with all your studying you're doing. That's why your lenses are plus 50. You have 2 steps of magnification that is necessary. You have no astigmatism correction, which is like the fine-tune knob. Astigmatism is what makes 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F. You do not have that issue. You just suffer from eye fatigue for the hours and hours on end that you sit studying, researching, and working on the computer. Late in the day, these will be very great for you. You have 6 ocular muscles. In fact, being pre-med, and can I encourage you to go into ophtho? That's ophthalmology for everyone else who's not in medical school. But you have 6 eye muscles, and you use them quite a bit. You have the ones that are top and bottom that attach to the eye, if you can imagine, and will pull back and forth so you can look up and down. And then you have 2 on the sides that make your eye go this way, and then you have two oblique ones, one here and one nasally, that when you have to look around, those contract, and that's how your eye muscles work. Now it's like holding up a heavy muscle, a heavy weight with your arm extended. At the end of the day, after hours of reading, your eye muscles get tired of holding that out there, and you just want to set it down, just like if you're holding something heavy. That is what eye fatigue is. Your muscles can only do but so much. So that's why you're going to get that little extra magnification to help you while you're studying. Now you're probably in your early 20s, and it's only late in the day, and especially in low light situations, that you need this. I see that a lot. I'm here in Durham, North Carolina. We have Duke University. 11 miles away, we have the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. And then we also have, let me clean that off, we also have 18 miles away, NC State in Raleigh, our state capital. Of course, I could clean this up later, but I'm just doing it now. And I'm going to go ahead and tuck that in at the outside corner, and then push down at the nose. It snaps right in easily. Pop that block off. Now, actually, let's come back down here again. Let's double check the prescription of the left eye. Put that in above the red dot. And again, I'm getting plus 50, exactly halfway between 0 and 1. So that is cut perfectly. Now, years from now, Ramiro, as you keep studying and as you get into med school, you may need lenses that are a little bit stronger. So you won't have to buy another frame. You can pop these lenses out, and I'm going to show you how now. But you just pull up on the top of the frame, and then with your thumbs you kind of just push outward. That's how you do that. Same thing on this side. And let me go ahead and clean those red dots off while I have them out here. But you never have to buy another frame from me. You can buy lenses only. Of course, let me pop these back in now, and I'll show you how to do that. Of course, you watch while I was cutting, but I always have the side I'm working on closest to me. Tuck the lens in at the outside corner, then using your thumbs, press down at the nose. And did I mention your lenses are unbreakable, so you never have to worry about that? And as long as your frame is at room temperature, you also never need to worry. Now, you live in pretty warm weather, but I do ship all over the world to people who live in cold climates. If you leave your frame in your car on a freezing night, this plastic can become brittle, so just wait till the frame is at room temperature before you work on any plastic. And I did that so quick, but again, tuck it in the outside corner, press down with your thumbs. Now, this is what your lenses look like now. Not only are you going to get a RayBan cleaning cloth with your case, but I'm going to provide one of my own premium microfiber cleaning cloths. And if you go to University of Texas, San Antonio, this is part of your school colors, so that's why I picked that one. But I field test every cleaning cloth to make sure that it works. I don't want to send you a defective one, so when you open up your package and you see a wrinkle in here, it has been field tested to know that it does work. But also, when I ship these to you, and of course free shipping anywhere in the United States, but when you get these in the mail, when you put these on, these are too loose or too tight. However, there's a small chance of that. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and I'm no exception. I'm part of that 80%, and I'll show you in just a moment. But because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. So just stop by your local shop, and it only takes about 30 seconds to a minute to adjust a pair of glasses properly. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment first, also known as the 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I take mine off and I press down. Mine wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. And for those of you keeping score at home, I'm wearing the RayBan 2132 New Wayfarer. This is based on the 2140 original Wayfarer that actually had a little bit of what's known as panoscopic tilt, where it came in closer at the bottom towards the cheeks and away from the eyebrows, which essentially was a design flaw that let light and air come in through the top. So when they redesigned these to make them foldable, they made them a little bit more vertical, which this frame was originally designed in 1952. This frame, the new Wayfarer, was designed in 1992, and they corrected that. They made it much more vertical also. Plus, they lightened this frame up a tremendous amount. I always thought that the original Wayfarer was somewhat heavy. This one is so much lighter, it feels like my 2132 New Wayfarer. Of course, I'm wearing color 6144, which is the silver metallic. Now, we'll put it back on so I can see what I'm doing, but first, you can at least see the shape. My frame's a little more rounded in a 52 eye size, and that's 52 millimeters from the corner of this lens to the corner right here. This one measures 50 millimeters from the corner of this lens to this corner. That's where we're getting 50 millimeters from. Now I'm going to put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing. But I'm going to flip them over, press down, make sure there's no wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap properly, and they do. Of course, this again is a fun one. All right, don't play with your food and don't play with your glasses, but hey, take my advice. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to play with these things. I love it. In fact, like I said, this is my next pair. So, but anyway, if you have any questions, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com, or simply click the contact me button on the website or through this link. Ramiro in San Antonio, Texas. I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut some low power magnifiers with the anti-glare coating to help you with your eye fatigue while you're pre-med and all your extensive studying in school. And of course, again, this is, hang on, where's my flashlight? Here it is. I have a smaller flashlight, I just can't find it. But I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut the lenses with anti-glare for your RayBan 4105, color 601 in the 50 eye size, the folding Wayfarer. And of course, as we open up this temple, you can see that it is made in Italy. Then other than that, hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.